Hello and welcome to 4,000 and Counting, brought to you by Hurricane e-bikes. This is Mark. I'm Watty. Today we are back on the roundup action. Apologies, it's been a little while, but lots been going on since we last spoke. Let's start off, Mark, with the Five Flyers. They've finally made an announcement of some description. They've signed a coach. His name is Tom Coolan, and that's about all I know about the guy, other than he's older than God. The guy's 69 years old. Might as well get Joe Biden in there. So what? Don't get me wrong, I get it. He's coached Buffalo Sabres, assistant coach in the NHL. Like, the guy's got pedigree. But is that not the most Fife sideways move ever? They announced that Dutiem and Hutchins are going to take a step back, and then they bring in a 69-year-old coach. I don't know. Call me a cynic.
Yeah, it got to pedigree. I can't criticize them so much because I'm not a coach, but just looking, it's just a Fife signing.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. I thought
I don't know how to say that in the most respectful way, but I don't want to write the coach off. He could be
No,
awesome,
it
but
could be
it
amazing.
lacks, for me, it lacks ambition.
You know,
That's
you
all.
look around the league. Pete Russell's in the league. Adam Keefe, Digger. I mean, this guy's got 20 plus years on those boys. 20 plus. And that's not to say experience isn't good, but we hear on all the NHL podcast broadcasts about the NHL like recycling coaches and bringing in coaches when they could potentially be bringing a guy up from the AHL and then promoting a guy from the coast because there's good young guys out there. I would have liked to see the Flyers go down a younger route. I am more than happy though for him to shove it up my hoop.
Oh yeah, all day long. And he was in on his pedigree. He's also
Yeah.
been involved with the Latvian national team, so he's obviously got something about him to be
Oh
able to
yeah.
get that kind of experience.
I do not disregard any of his experiences. He's coached in the Continental Cup final over in Belfast, so he has been to the UK. Saw a press release that said he's kind of followed the Elite League since then, probably knowing that at some stage he was going to end up here. Still, I don't know. I can't get over the age thing.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. Just looking at the last couple of years, sort of jumped around a bit. I don't know. Fife really need, I should say, stability. They had Todd there for like half a century, so
Quarter almost.
I don't know. I don't
Literally
know.
almost a quarter of a century. It must have been. He was there for a long, long time. I would have
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I would have liked to see him go down the younger route. But that being said, they've made a signing now and they can build off that. I'd be interested to see who he brings with him. He's been all over the place in Europe as well. Well, he's been all over the place. He's been coaching for a long time and he's got good pedigree. So we'll be interested to see how it pans out.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about a goalie, that's for sure.
No, he has to worry about
And a
catching his old
solid
man
goalie.
ball skin in his zips. Like, that's what he has to worry about. It's a loose skin, old balls. Gross.
Oh,
That's a Big Daddy reference for those that don't watch
yeah,
Adam Sandler
quality.
movie. Those that don't watch Adam Sandler movie. But nah, all the best to him. Seriously, piss taken aside.
Yeah,
I'm
good
interested
luck.
to. Obviously, it's just been announced today. I've been working. You've been doing bits. We've jumped on here tonight. I haven't really seen the Twitter reaction, so I don't know how the fans feel, and that's going to be the interesting take. How they feel about it. Do they marry our views, or are they more inclined to be like, yeah, the guy's got NHL experience, he's experienced all, and just completely discount the age thing?
I think they're more excited that they've got a team going next season.
I mean, yeah, and
Like we
they
always
got a
say,
social
like it's
media announcement.
embarrassing. Yeah,
It's not even yeah, it's
I like the
embarrassing, but
club as
it
well. That's
just
the thing.
I
I
did.
don't have anything against Fife, but when you're in the elite league, we always say this: you need a bit of
There's
news, a bit of traction going.
expectation, mate. Look
Yeah,
at Solway right now. I mean, we're going to get onto them a little while later when we talk about Warburton signing, but the way they've just come on this scene up in Scotland right now and announced themselves, their traction's out of control. They're super intelligent with what they're doing, and it's engaging. That you look forward to a press release. It's exciting. They got the boys doing it. Did you see going on press releases? Did you see Valley's press release going back to Sheffield?
Yeah.
I'm back, baby. I love it. I want to interview him. Like, I watched that. He's got the Quebec Ramparts on, and he takes it off. Now, I'm not going to go through his teams. The guy had like loads.
Ljubljana, he's
Yeah,
got a few
Ljubljana
on
was in
there.
there, and then he gets to Coventry. Goes, ooh, controversial. Like he's acting. It's so good, and yeah, I loved it. And then he gets to Sheffield, and he's like, "Just kidding, I'm back, baby." That is fucking so good. It's like Joey out of Friends acting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's so good.
Oh, it's
And
great. And that created engagement from
yeah,
every, the Elite League, national fans. Everyone was just like, check this out. Like, okay,
mate,
you
it
might
was
not have liked
wild.
it, but I liked it and it gained traction. So it
Yeah,
worked.
you're just competing for people to get clicks and to bring the news and a bit of fun. Like the off season's fucking boring.
Yeah.
Boring. There's no games. Like games are fun, but let's make the press releases fun and get involved. And I think there's some big ones coming in the National League. There seems to be a bit of a competition between some of the clubs there. Hull have been announcing it well. They've been playing some games. Solway are doing well. I think the other clubs, Bristol,
Bristol, yeah.
yeah, like they're getting involved, and then Romford just put out like, hey, we signed these two guys. Like, but we're going to talk about the guys they've signed in a little while. But stick to the Elite League, Mark. What have we got
Yeah.
next? Because there's been plenty going on in the Elite League. Tell me some more news.
Right, let's go Glasgow. And
Yeah,
they
there's
have
bits
signed
and bobs going
Charlie
on there.
Combs.
Yeah, from Dundee.
And another lad from Dundee is Felipe Sanche. I probably said that wrong.
Well, at least I didn't say it. Um, I'm not going to comment on the second fella because I don't really remember him. Even though you
No?
do. No, I don't
Oh,
know
he was a
why. I
stud.
don't know why. But Charlie, on the other hand, I do remember watching and enjoyed watching him play. I think he's got talent, and Glasgow Clan are doing bits. I'm interested to see how it pans out by the time the summer's over and it's ready to go in pre-season. By the way, if you want
I'll
the
give you
Elite
some
League
context.
fixtures, they're out there right now. We're not going to go through them, but there's Elite League fixtures dropping left, right, and centre. Pre-season games going on all across the country. Teams from abroad, some teams playing against each other. I believe Coventry are playing against Milton Keynes. It's the first crossover game in quite some time. So there's
Yeah.
all that sort of news going on. Mark, what else we got?
Yeah, Sanche, I want to. So you've got a bit more info on him. So he
Yeah,
wore the
go.
A for the Stars last year. 48 regular season games, 24 plus 37, 61 points overall.
Very
The
impressive.
season before that, he was with Dundee. Yeah, regular season, he got 45 games, 21 tucks, and 23 apples.
Yeah, nice. Good point production.
Nice
Solid
bit of business.
over a point a game average in 2 seasons. So I think that's a good bit of business by the clan. Interesting to see who the Stars bring in to replace those boys because obviously they both got good numbers. So replacing them, they're going to have to be like for like or better. Well, in fact, they're going to have to be better really because the way Dundee finished is not good enough for their club, and they're gonna want to be finishing higher and battling for, you know, sixth, seventh, eighth. They want one of those playoff spots. They're not going to be happy if they
Yeah.
don't. So they need to big time shake up there. Interesting to see how it pans out. Also interesting to see that Mason went straight back to Belfast as well after losing his job in Dundee, straight back to Belfast. So he's obviously got something about him because Adam Keefe's not bringing a fucking donkey into his coaching stuff.
No need, is there?
Do you know what I mean? And he's had him there before. He knows what he's about. He brings that guy straight back. So it'd be interesting to see what he gets. Maybe he gets another look in a couple of years to be a head coach, but maybe somewhere with a bit more of a budget. And we unlock a coach that's an absolute fucking weapon.
Yeah.
Makes you
There's
see it.
nothing else you can add to that.
We've seen no, but you've seen it happen, haven't you? Like sometimes it just doesn't work. Like it doesn't mean he's a bad coach. And Dundee, they do have to make changes. They've made a change in the coach. They've made a change in the system, and it looks like they're bringing different kind of players in. So hopefully, what we need as a league is 3 competitive Scottish teams.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? And it could happen.
Well,
It could
yeah,
happen with some sensible.
It's new eyes across the board, isn't it? You've got new eyes in Glasgow, you got new eyes in Fife, and you got new eyes in Dundee. I mean, right now it's anyone's game because the market's still open and players are still getting signed left, right, and centre. What other players have we got, Mark? Because
Charlie Combs. Sorry, Charlie Combs was in Denmark last year. He played 45 regular season. He got 20 plus 19, 39 overall. The season before, he was with the Dundee Stars, and he had 52 regular season games and 65 points, 30 plus 35. So just to give you a bit more context there, that's 2 great signings by the Clan. And yeah, Dundee must be. I always say, they've always got a couple of gems within their setup or guys that have been there and moved on. And yeah, they're going to be, it's a bit of a kick in the ass for recruitment.
That's what I was going to say. I don't imagine either any of those coaches going down the European route as much as maybe some of the Scottish teams have in the past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
I think they might go back to like the fully fledged North American kind of style.
Well, I think Fife need that for sure.
Especially in that old bar, man. So the rink's built for that old hockey. And I know it's a little bit different now, but you're telling me teams are going to want to come in there if you're 16 and a 6'2" as smallest, and the biggest is 6'6" and fucking 130 kilos. You got to go stand in front against them in a PP. Give me some 5'10" fucking guy from Finland that weighs 86 kilos. Yeah, I want to play against him. I don't want to sit on the bus for 8 hours and then go up to Scotland and get fucking run through the concrete boards by some 6'6", 125 kilo D-man. That suck. Look at the team that won the cup. Look at the size of Vegas' D-man. They're jacked.
Oh, yeah.
Jacked. You can't get a puck through. Like they just take the ice. And if they don't take the ice, they take the body. And it's very difficult to get inside what we would call that, like that box or the defenseman's triangle. Like if you're trying to come inside on a guy like that, chances are he's going to fucking drill you. Or he's just going to quite simply, because he's got such a range and such a reach, he's just going to take your ice away and then take the puck off you.
Do you think this is where Fife have gone down the right route then? Because they've got an old Canadian guy who's had experience in the NHL. He himself is a bit of a character.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to lose his shit. So maybe we get a bit of a bite in that Fife team next year. Get a Nickerson-esque signing up there.
Well, they loved him up there, didn't they?
Yeah.
They loved him. Like he was like fan favorite. So I mean, I'm not saying going out and sign a Nickerson. It doesn't have to be a Nickerson.
No.
But you have to just give the people what they want and put some bums on seats and get people excited to go back in there and just be tough to play against. Like, if you're a lower budget team, your rink's not the best to go to.
And Fife is a tough place to go and play when that place, when the fans are behind them. That's, the players, the opposition hate it.
And I would like to see him go bigger. And I'll be interested to see if they do, how he plays it out. Like I said a minute ago, I'm taking piss out of his age or whatever, but I'm more than happy for him to show up my hoop. Like
all day.
I'd love to see a competitive 5 team. I'd just love to see like the Elite League where you genuinely have like the National League vibe about it, where you think anyone can beat anyone on any given night.
Yeah. That's what we want. We don't want the same 2 teams on the bottom every season.
No.
Like and typically I'm not picking on the Scottish teams because I love and respect them, but to have a strong Glasgow side after the disaster of last year, to have Dundee clicking again in the right way, and to have Fife just with a new fresh start and you want competitive hockey where anyone can beat anyone, like you said. The National is a good example of that. And yeah, we need strength. And Scotland produced such excellent British talent as well that always gets overlooked.
Yeah.
But the best players have been Scottish. I think Max even said that
Yeah, of course they
quite a lot
have.
on Twitter.
I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that some of the best players we've ever had, Tony Hand, Stephen Murphy, Colin Shields. So, oh yeah, shout out to him on his honor from the King's birthday. Can't remember if he's an OBE or an MBE. I think it's MBE. Remember the British Empire. So yeah, shout out to him for his services to ice hockey. Great guy, podcast hero from all of us. And yeah, so just congratulations, well deserved. But yeah, so you got those Scottish guys, and then obviously you got guys like David Longstaff that are going to be in with a shout. Stevie Lau on the goalie side, Ben Bams on the goalie side, Liam Kirk in the future. Like there's going to be guys that are there or thereabouts. But yeah, Scottish boys are right there. Some of the best players ever produced have come from Scotland, without a doubt. Yeah, let's move forward. More signings. Keep them coming.
Right, let's go. Let's keep with Scandinavia then, as we announced that the last guy had played in Denmark. We've got a guy called Johnny Cornel, who the Manchester Storm have signed, and he's coming from Ringerike in the Norwegian League, where he picked up 32 points, a 17 plus 15 in 43 regular season games, and his side were in the relegation rounds of the Norwegian League. I've got to be very honest. I've seen a couple of really good Norwegian players, but I can't say I know a lot about the league.
No, me neither. I went to a couple of IHF camps when I was younger, one in Germany, I think one in France. And we got paired up with some Norwegians, and all the fucking Norwegian lads. Like, we got paired up with lads from every country. It was like 3 from Great Britain, 3 from Finland, 3 from wherever. All the Norwegian lads were big time beauties. Like, they could play as well. Like, that was my first real experience of kind of playing against those guys. And they were guys from the national team at the time, U16, U17, something like that. These guys were legit. Like, they could play, and I was impressed with them. And just like their banter in the locker room and how much fun those boys were. So anyone coming from that league, we know Norway's good hockey.
He's got a good great junior career. He was in the O with the Niagara Ice Dogs, and then he went to U Sports from there. But he captained and wore the A for the Niagara Ice Dogs.
Nice.
Picked up very respectable points.
Yeah, so it's
very respectable points.
Very interesting signing for the Storm. And we talk about places that are tough to go. Manchester are another team that might need to make it really horrible for these big arena teams to go there.
Agreed. You got to use it, when you don't have the budget as such, you got to use your advantage, and that is playing in some awful places. Yeah, like, I've got to put it out there. Like, they're not glamorous places. Anyone will tell you that. But you can make those places intimidating. That's why I like Peterborough. It's a shit rink, but I love it because when the crowd are on top there, you just feel it. And you can attest for that when you've played there.
Yeah, but that place is rocking, man. It's a different level. It's different for a home team, but like I was always that away player that loved and feeded on that shit. Like, I want to ruin your night. I want to ruin your fucking evening. Like, whether it's score a goal and we win, or it's beat up one of your guys that drop the gloves, whoever it is. Like, I want you to leave there pissed off that you've spent 60 minutes of your life shouting shit at me, and then we've still won, because it's the best feeling. When it's like a dead atmosphere and the fans aren't giving you any shit, it's so boring for an away player.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'd have thrived off that. I remember when I used to go to Hull and they used to sing, "One man went to bed with Watty. One man went to bed, he went to bed with Watty. 2 men went to bed, they went to bed." Mate, and they'd start that in fucking warm-up. By the end of the third period, it was like 100 men went to bed with Watty. And then you go in the bar and they'd be like, "Do you want a pint?" Like, "Yeah, let's have a beer." And it was banter, mate. And then I think the second time they went up, it was like, "One man and his sheep went to bed with what." And just like as the year went on, like it just got progressively worse, and it was fucking brilliant. Same as going to Romford. I always talk about hating going to Romford, but there's something about going to Ron Valley Way with the netting and like the fans were right there. right there on top of you. Like, I don't know, kind of get the buzz from that.
That makes sense with well, just the game that you played. I think just
Yeah,
sums up
yeah,
your
yeah,
character.
yeah. Like Norm Pennington was the same. Like I've never seen Norm happier than like an away win where he's just like ruined fucking 2,000 people's day. You get back on the bus and he'd be giddy. I'm like, no, you're just like 42, man. Like, you've been doing this for like 24 years. Loved it like a little boy. Shout out to Norm. I hope he's doing well. Haven't spoken to him in a little while, but I haven't forgot you. What a beauty. I tell you what, I probably can't tell the story in a podcast. Can't tell the story in a podcast.
Save it for another time.
It's not about Norm. I can tell it. Yeah, I can tell it. Fuck it.
Okay, go for it.
So a friend of mine's a teacher, and just like recently the group chat went off, yeah. And in the group chat it goes, a colleague of mine told me he was into dancing. He's like a math teacher, right? As like a hobby. And anyway, so it turns out that the students found this dude's Instagram page, and he's got the illest fitting like pair of Y-front pants on, yeah, and he's doing pole dancing. And now all the kids have found out, yeah, and this fucking poor dude, yeah, he thought he was just gonna go out and do some pole dancing and have some fun. Apparently, like the kids have found out now, and it's as you would expect if you found out your male maths teacher was doing pole dancing. I mean, I don't know what it'd be like now. It's probably a lot more lenient now, but can you imagine when we was at school if you found out like your maths teacher was doing pole dancing on the side? You just laughing.
I do not want to imagine my maths teacher doing that.
Yeah,
She
I
was
don't
like
want to imagine.
17 years old.
Oh no, I had like some old 6'5" English like wannabe French dude. Looks like as a maths teacher. I definitely don't want to see him with his fucking way out dancing on Instagram.
You
But
don't want to see him fucking show how to read a ruler.
Underrated joke. That was funny. That made me giggle. Totally confused now. Just thinking about my maths teacher's a cock instead of like signings. Fuck's sake. Like, where are we going with this?
All right, moving on. Manchester Storm have got another new signing. Again, the Scandinavian route back to Denmark with the Esbjerg Energy, where he got 47 regular season games, 16 plus 9, 25 overall, and 4 points in 11 games in the playoff. His name is Will Merchant.
Where's he from?
He is from, let's have a look at
North
this.
American, I take it, with a name like Will
Yeah,
Merchant.
North American is from USA.
Oh, okay.
He's from Minnesota, I think.
Wow, good hockey state.
And his career, University of NCAA, East Coast, cup of coffee in the A, twice with Texas Stars.
Nice.
But yeah, respectable.
I love this. I love to see new guys come into the league when we bring these boys in and we take a chance, and especially some of these guys that are being almost there with the AHL or that have played 80, 100 games in the AHL, because you don't do that by accident. And if you're on the cusp of AHL, you're like a very good ice hockey player. What you got to remember is, and this is the mad thing, there's so many ice hockey players. If you're in the coast, there's 8 left wingers between you and the first line in the NHL. In the organization. Maybe 10. A couple of healthy scratches here and there, or a fucking injured guy.
Yeah.
But then when you go, right, one of them's Ovechkin, the other one's fucking Backstrom, the other one, and then you go, okay, there's 5 potential spots. And then you go, right, you just got the kid that got 125 points in the O last year playing down in the A. You've got the kid that was second line for Team Canada U20s that won the gold at the World Juniors. And then you go, okay, the spaces are getting smaller. Doesn't mean you're a bad hockey player. By any stretch of the imagination, to be in that mix, you've got to be very, very good.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be in the NHL, you have to be fucking ridiculously good. And realistically, those top lines of the A now are made up with these savage kids coming out of junior that are just not quite ready to go to the NHL, but they will be there.
Yeah, they drop out, have a season away somewhere and light it up, and then get the chance again.
And the other thing is when you got to do that AHL grind, must be very nice to come over here. The travel's not too bad. You get to go to some cool cities, get paid some all right money, you get a nice apartment, you get car. Training schedule's pretty good. You train in the morning, you probably got a gym. By lunchtime, you're done. You can go golf, you can go play squash, tennis, whatever it is you do as a hobby. And then you can just go like live. Especially like if you think, imagine you go into like Sheffield, Manchester, you're everywhere on a train in like 40 minutes. Even like 2 hours down to London. My client I had this morning, he was in Manchester for a meeting yesterday. London Paddington to Manchester, 2 hours. So even like if you sign for Manchester and you get the Tuesday off, you get the fast train down at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're there by 10, go have some breakfast, have some lunch, have some pints, hang out for fucking 8-9 hours, get the 9 o'clock train home, you're back in Manchester by 11. Like, so do you know, like when you're coming into these places, like these are options guys that are looking at. You can go live your life as well. You're not miles away. When you think they're used to like AHL trips that are 5 days long or 15-hour trips and just different way of life over here. We complain as Brits, I'm like, got to go Solway. They'd be like, what? It's like fucking 5.5 hours.
Is that all?
Yeah, if you're from like Alberta, you're like, what? Closest game's 9.
Brett Ferguson said that, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like,
Recent
it was
podcast guest. Yeah.
absolutely hideous schedule. But yeah, so the Elite League's attractive for these guys. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. What else you got for
You're
me,
going to
Mark?
look forward to this one then. So we're going to finish off with Manchester Storm's last signing.
Yeah.
And this is, I hope I don't get his name wrong. His name is Lauren Ulet. And you're going to like this guy. He seems to rack up a lot of PIMs. So
Okay.
where's he? He's Canadian boy from Ontario. He's 6 foot and 95 kilos.
Big boy.
So decent size. U Sports, East Coast, SPHL, a game in with the Ontario Reign in the
Okay.
A. And then last season finishing with the Kansas City Mavericks, where he wore the A for the East Coast Hockey League. He got 7 plus 12, 19 overall in 59 games,
D-man.
83 PIMs. He is, let's see what it's saying on here, center or winger.
Okay, so he's going to be a depth guy for Manchester. He's not putting enough points to be challenging that top couple of line spots. But
Season before last, though, I just want to say 60 games, 170 PIMs.
oh, nice. What league was that?
East Coast.
Okay, now we're talking.
So this is going to be a fun signing.
How many points that year?
20. 12 plus 8.
So he had more points and PIMs that year than he did last year. Okay, maybe Manchester's going to fucking wake him up, and he's that kind of signing we need to go. We just talked about. Bring some pieces of shit in.
You need another Springer in that building. That's what you need.
Yeah, let's go. Bring me a Bring me a Riley Brandt into Manchester. A guy that just skates around, back checking, forechecking, hitting guys, forechecking, hitting guys, forechecking, hitting guys. Fucking Duracell bunny, just boom, boom, boom. You don't go, oh, Riley Brandt just curled away from a hit. If that dude skates 80 feet to forecheck you, he's hitting you 100% of every single time. And I was the same and never got these guys. I was like, you've just skated that far. Make the D-man's night miserable. Make it miserable. Getting hit into the boards ain't that fun. If you get a sore one, it hurts. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of the hits you go in, you just bounce off as a piece of piss. Some of them, a guy like Dwayne Newman leans on you the wrong way, and you're gonna go, ugh! And the oxygen's gonna leave your body. Like it sucks. It's like an involuntary thing. Everything just goes out. If that happens to you on the first shift, you better believe that you'll shoulder check in next time you go in. You're like, footsteps. That's what we used to say on the bench. Footsteps. carrying eggs in your pockets. Like, that D-man doesn't want to go back there because guess what? That hit's coming again. And Manchester need guys like that. And if this guy had 170 pims in the coast, you don't do that by accident.
No, that's a great signing. I like
like it.
what he's going to bring.
I like it. I'm excited. Give me it.
Yeah.
How tall? How
Did I?
big? 6.
Sorry, he
Say
was
6.
6 foot 95 kilos.
Yeah, solid.
That's a lot.
Yes, it's a good size, man. Like, that's a very good size. He's got great potential to come into Manchester and mix it up, and I love it. Right, sorry, let's fast forward because we've been yapping for ages already.
Yeah, I think I might have forgot Cam Critchlow as well.
Oh yeah, podcast boy, Cammy Critchlow. Wouldn't be surprised to see him have the C there. Absolute stud. Really like Cam. Had a fantastic year last year. Very, very, very good player. Yeah, I'm impressed with what Manchester have done this week. Also impressed with what Belfast have done. They've announced Travis Brown again from Esberg Energy, same as one of the players before, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Esberg Energy. Who do we have from there? I'm forgetting with all these Danish teams. We had Will Merchant.
Yeah, so he's
for Manchester from there.
I had a look at him when he came out. I was impressed with his stats. Also, Jacob Friend from Jacksonville. They announced that on the View from the Bridge podcast last night with Adam Keefe. Tuned into a couple of minutes of that. Shout out to those guys. Always do a good job over there. This is a signing that I like. And it's a big fuck you to the second place Guildford Flames. Daniel Tedesco, he's gone. And it's kind of been the worst kept secret of the Elite League for the last couple of weeks here. I think that's what the Guildford fans have already resigned themselves to losing him. But everyone's like, they've lost Conway. And I was like, yeah, they just took second best scorer in the league. Like, it was like, okay. And also, now the rumor mill, and I don't like to spread the rumors, but the rumor is, I want to spread it just now because I think it's a really good talking point for me and you. Conway back to Belfast after the fucking shitstorm of the tweet. Good luck getting a goal in Scotland, Mel Gibson style. Someone's gonna have to hang, drawn, and fucking quarter you at centre ice for you to get a goal this year. Just be like, it's no teeth. Sorry, mate, I didn't see it. Can't call. I didn't see. Lino, did you see it? Nope. Nope. Nah, I'm not actually. I'm only joking. I'm not calling the ref's integrity. I'm sure they would call it. But that 50-50 one that they don't really need to call, guess what? They're not calling that one. The actual real deal.
Just have to deal with it, if they, you didn't want to, if the officiating's that bad.
Then the Elite League should have put a fucking band-aid on that straight away. They should have come out, we're gonna put this course on, we're gonna do this. Although we think the officials have done this and this guy's reached this and this guy's gone to the world champs, but we are going to do something and be proactive, like react and do something.
Maybe that's what you wanted from this all.
Well, I think Nat Halbert spoke about it, and we know plenty of guys off of the air that have spoken about it, that have spoke about it. And this isn't us slagging the refs. This is more of us as a gentle nudge to the Elite League.
Exactly. Like, we all want to see the game improve here, don't we? And officiating's got to be one of them.
Yeah, don't sleep on your people. These are your people. Go to bat for them. Invest in them. Help them. Help them help you. Help us. You're a consumer product. You are a consumer product. And you're only as good as the weakest part. And if some people say that's the officials, you could have all the fucking screens in Sheffield you want. You can sell all the 50-50s you want. You can have all the shirt off the back tickets you want. But if what the players are saying, the reffing's no good, then ultimately the product's not as good as it could be. Figure it out. Like, we spend.
I'd love to see Conway back, by the way.
Oh yeah, sign me up for our player of the year for the last 2 years. I mean, of course we want him back. And I like this sandpaper finish that he's got about him right now, just running people up the wrong way. I hope he comes back. Stick him in line with Tedesco. Let's see how that works out. I mean, Goodwin's gone.
Scary thought.
Goodwin's gone. Stick Conway in line with Tedesco. Let's see how these boys do. I mean, they'll pull some fucking pants down in the league defenses next year. They'll be so fast, so
Yeah.
talented. But do you know what? I don't know if he comes back and if Adam Keefe hasn't got like. I'm waiting for Weapon X, not literally Weapon X, but that like announcement, and I think it's going to come just before the season starts. We know what happens when guys get knocked down from the NHL and training camps and they get cut and they go to the A. Put it this way, it's draft day today. So we're going to have rookie camp soon, which means we're then going to have main camp not long after. Guys are going to be getting dropped from the NHL to the AHL, from the AHL to the coast. And there's going to be someone on the fucking market that becomes available at the right time. Because Conway's stats in the AHL and the East Coast were solid, but they weren't AHL stud solid.
No, they were good, weren't they?
They were
But
good,
yeah,
but
I agree. I
I'm
agree.
talking 65 points, but decides that he now wants to come to Europe. And what a fucking spot to come to when you're 35 and you've made your money and you can come to the Elite League and play for Belfast. Everyone speaks the language. It's the coolest city on the planet. It's here. I don't know if Conway goes. I don't think Tedesco's the Conway replacement. I think he
No,
was.
no, no.
I think Tedesco was always going there. I bet this has been teed up since fucking December. And
It,
that's not me. That's not me saying player tapping up's going on or anything of the like, because that doesn't happen in ice
it's not
hockey.
bullshit. It does.
That
It
doesn't
fucking
happen in ice
happens.
hockey. Never heard of that. But I just saying that I think Steve Thornton and Adam Keefe probably do things the right way. But you got friends in the teams in the league, and you go, oh hey, mate, Keefe really likes you. I like he liked the way you played against us last night. I'm staying here next year. Belfast's a great spot. Can't we play together again or whatever? And that's pretty much some of the time. That's the recruitment. One of your mates plays for the team. They bum up the place, and then the coach calls and tells you like exactly what he needs from you. And if it's something that you can match, I get it. And would Tedesco be disappointed that the Flames turned down to the chance to play in Europe, and ultimately Belfast are going to go and play in the Champions Hockey League?
Ambitions when you come into Europe, eh? A lot of people now are wanting to come over and experience the Champions Hockey League. We've had players speak on the pod off air before, mentioning how they were unlucky and that they'd always set out to actually play in it on their European sort of experience.
Yeah, because that's kind of what they'll be looking at from the States if they don't have
It happens
much
in other
time. Of
sport, doesn't it? You
course,
know,
yeah.
you see a big name, you go, oh well, we didn't get
Oh,
Champions League next season, and I really wanted to play it, so I'm leaving the club.
yeah.
People
And
have ambitions, so
I'm not being funny. If you're a
yeah.
guy that signs for Belfast this year and you play, I'm just going to pluck a team out of mid Munich. You play against Munich and you score 2 goals in the home leg. You have a mad back check against their best player, lift a stick, make a really good like defensive play in the away leg, and then chuck in like 2 apples. And then you do well in the other 5 games or whatever it is in your competition. I think there's 7 games they play. The way this new format is. By the way, go check out our shit show video about the CHL when we try and wrap our head around that
Oh,
draw, whatever that was. It was like a game of snakes and ladders trying to figure that out. But like you say, these guys could then put themselves in the shop window. There's some serious good teams in that Champions Hockey League, and if you can compete very well, you might just put yourself in a shop window for a spot in the Dell, or maybe it's a spot in Finland or wherever it is. There's an opportunity for you to do that. You have to perform well at the start of the season because that's when it is. And then you have to perform well for the rest of the season so that you're still relevant. There's no point you coming in and putting fucking 10 points up in 7 Champions League games and then getting 20 points in the next 56 Elite League games. But if you come in and put 10 points up in 7 Champions League games and then go on to have like a season like Conway did, where you put up 85, 95, 100 points, guess what? Teams are going to look at you next year and you're going to get paid a damn sight more than getting paid in Belfast this year.
oh yeah, I never even considered that, to be honest. It's quite stupid, but you're right. It does put you in the shop window.
Of course it
That's a
does.
great opportunity. Really, really good opportunity, especially when you're trying to go up a level. And yeah,
Yeah.
when you can get SHL Liga teams looking at you,
Well,
that's
think how many
awesome.
guys have come from that kind of, and maybe not so much in Belfast, but certainly over the Elite League as a whole, U Sports, NCAA, blah, blah, blah. Do you think when these guys signed for D1 colleges that their ambition was to play in the fucking Elite League? Eh. Their ambition was to play in NHL, and if it wasn't NHL, it was a KHL, and if it's not KHL, it's the AHL, and if it's not the AHL, it's fucking Liga or it's Swiss or it's the Dell or it's one of them. But this could be perfect stepping stone, and this is where I think some fans get bent out of shape because they fall in love with these guys because they're so good. But they deserve to go test themselves at the best level and make the most money. It's a short career. Let's just say that you're on 45,000 euros playing for Belfast, yeah? I won't say who said because I can't remember if he said it on air or off air. But put it this way, he played at another team within Europe where his salary was 90. Say over the space of a 7-year career. That's the difference. If you making like an extra, God, what is it? It's like nearly 320 grand. Different. That's a lot of money in the grand scheme of things for a job that you don't really get paid a lot of money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like an investment bank has probably made that just by the time we've been doing this podcast. But for an ice hockey player, for your salary to jump up from 45 to like a 90, that's a big salary. We heard Joey Lewis. I will talk about that because he did talk about money. We heard Joey talk about the money that some of these boys in the Dell are making. They're making like legit money, house and all,
Yeah.
etc. So if you think they get into that Dell organization at 20, and a lot of these guys stay there to the 35, 36, at that point they could be making 200-300 grand a year. They're making 45, 50, 60 when these boys are breaking in. By the time they're good, 100, 120 grand. You have a 14-year career making that kind of money. It's what some of these players deserve. And I'm all for it. And if we can get more money into the Elite League, we better attract more high-end players.
High-end players and just give us that extra Brit spot back, please.
Yes, please. Yeah, yeah. You won't hear any argument from me.
Yeah, that's it.
And I've also said, playing devil's advocate, I totally agree why they've done it, but I would love to see it revert. I wouldn't like to see it stay for too long. Like short term, okay. Long term, definitely not.
Yeah, let some kids come up through the system and let's see what's happening in the next couple of years. But it can't stay like this.
Yeah, I agree. That's
Should we
enough.
move on to Belfast's next signing? So I'm going to butcher this one. He's a forward, and his name is Ara Nazarian. Nazarian.
Nazarian.
Nazarian. Yeah, let's go with that. Apologies if I've got your name wrong. So US born, and the experience on that is a lot of USHL, NCAA, East Coast, AHL experience. Yeah, and Jacksonville Icemen last season, 71 games, 21 plus 29, 50 overall, and then 12 playoff games, 4 plus 8, so 12 point per game in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, legit. Very good signing. Sorry, I was just sweating it out here.
Okay, so the season before he was in the A, split between Jacksonville Icemen and the Rochester Americans in the A, 14 games, 3 points, 2 plus 1. And in the regular season in the ECHL, 40 games, 13 plus 18, 31. Seems to be on average bouncing between 30 and 50 point wise in the East Coast.
Yeah, nice. So he's got good pedigree. He'll come over and do well.
NCAA, awesome stats in the NCAA.
Yeah, he's going to come over and do very well. Right, let's fast forward because we've been talking for ages and I've got a feeling that we got a shit ton of more signings to go.
Yeah, so touch on the last one. Yeah, Goodwin leaves. So moving on, let's go to Nottingham Panthers and the familiar face for all. I'll let you fire away with this one.
Logan Nielsen. He's back from his stint in North America, coming out the NAHL, and I'm torn with this one. Glad for Nottingham, they got a good player. I just wish that he would have maybe fucking stayed abroad for a little bit longer if it was a possibility. I know he's 20, but he could have potentially done. So, I don't know. I'm just watching the kid's talent. Unless he plans to use this as a stepping stone as well, because hey, what's to say a Brit can't do that?
Well, that's it.
Yeah, so what's to say a Brit can't do that? I like the signing for Nottingham, and I like the player announcement, him as a nipper back when his old man was coaching, and now sitting in his store, big fucking unit. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him. Um, I feel for Mama Nielsen. She can't get away from that place. Can she? It's like Corey
That's
left,
true.
and then he come back, and then Corey left, and then Logan signed. It's like just a few nights away from the Nottingham Ice Arena. It would probably be quite nice on a weekend. But yeah, I'm glad to see him coming home. Would have loved to have seen him test himself somewhere else. That's kind of the big thing about these Brits. I like to see him coming home because it means we're getting better ice hockey players than when they left.
Yeah.
But I always got that. Just stay for as long as you can. I don't know, stay for as long as you can. And he had talent. You don't play in the leagues that he played at. But I think Nottingham have got a gem there. Very interested to see how he goes.
Just a nice move. Good to, you saw the pictures of him as a kid in the Panthers jersey, and he goes on to play for him. So like, fair play to him, and I wish him all the best. I think that's a nice bit of business for Nottingham, especially when actually, yeah, and to have another Brit in, considering who they'd lost. Let's see how that goes.
Adds to Bettridge and Tetlow and a couple of the other boys that they have there. I'm intrigued to see how the Panthers do. They need to do better than they did prior, because last year was quite
Awful.
clearly not good enough if you're a Nottingham Panthers fan. Coventry Blaze, they've signed Kobe Roof from from the
Kobe Roth.
Rough. I said Roof. I read that as well. Oh Jesus, I can see that now. From Kalamazoo Wings and Cole Donhauser from Yale University. I'm intrigued by these boys, because always good to get new signings in, and love, like, I'm not going to beat the dead horse like I said about the other new signings. So it's good to see these new guys come to the league, because ultimately you're going to have guys that come over that you want to keep, and you're going to have guys that come over you go, don't get me wrong, he was okay, but I think we can do better. Much the same as like the Sheffield Steelers just next signing, Mark Simpson from Asiago. Like, we saw him play last year, didn't we, when we were in
Vienna.
We were in Vienna. I'm intrigued how you see how he's going to adapt and play in that style. I think he's going to do very well for the Steelers. And yeah, new signings all around right now.
New sign, yeah. That was a surprising Asiago signing, because they were shit when we saw them. They were shit. A couple of plays, there was Luke Moncada, who I really like from there. But they were one of the worst teams I've seen play in years.
It was like watching the grass grow.
It was so boring. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, fuck this. I think we got to the end
they
of
the They were in the back of, I think, 7 straight losses at the time. Yeah. That was their last. They went on a month later to then get a great run. But
also, the worst uniforms I've ever seen. So bad. Right, let's fast forward. We've got more news to come. We've got NIHL news. We've got Russ Cowley back at Swindon Wildcats. I mean, if you're Swindon Wildcats and you're Russ Cowley, it's a match made in heaven. I think obviously his point production last year was very good. He can still do a job at that level. He's still more than capable. Veteran leadership, just experience, all round good guy. Someone you want to have in your locker room. One of the nicest guys you ever meet. Also a podcast guest. If you've never listened, go back on our Spotify, check it out. Brilliant guest, Dr. Russ Cowley, actually.
Yes,
smart boy.
Yeah.
From smart boy to not so smart boy. JJ Pitchley to Streatham. Obviously, my brother's plays for Streatham, so I've known about this signing for a while. But when you lose Vanny and you bring in Josh Martin and JJ, I think it's got that sandpaper finish again.
Yeah,
you've already got
Streatham's going to be fun next year.
Yeah, you've already got Inglesby, Miles, Watt, Painter. You've already got a bunch of just sandpaper finish guys. and you just added 2 more. Josh Martin's got it. JJ Pitchley's got it. And yeah, you talk about places that are not going to be fun places to go.
Briggs is there next season as well. He's been announced in Streatham.
He's
drop
also
that in
going to
there.
be. He's also going to be joining us for the charity game. So shout out Halves. He's taking time out of his busy fucking Instagram and DJing schedule to come out and play hockey with the boys. Have you seen his DJing stuff, bro?
Yeah, man. I've applied for his own loan, by the way.
Oh, have you really? He's what, for when he's a big famous DJ, you're gonna sell it on eBay for
I'm not into DJ.
Sell
not my kind of thing.
Some little kid that's into his music who's made like $3,000 a month selling fucking Prime on Facebook.
I don't even know anything of this scene. No, I like to support Streatham. And just seemed like a good kid, and we've invited him to the charity tournament.
I thought you meant the charity game shirt. You mean
no, Streatham shirt.
No, I thought you meant the charity game. Support the pod first. Fuck Streatham. You can get his shirt and support the pod. No, but jokes aside, Mark's not buying any shirts from the podcast. You guys can though, and this week we will be putting it out there so that you can do that.
Sorry, you just ruined my plan to try and make profit on these shirts.
But yeah, he's going to be joining us for the charity game. He's going to be rocking the number 13 jersey, and we won't be telling you what team he's playing for until we do the live draft, which will be coming in a couple of hot weeks here. But leaving MK is Howden Barnes-Gardner, and my best guess is he's going to go and join Cliff.
Makes sense.
Makes sense for me. I think he'll get more ice time and more chance to be like a go-to guy. He never's going to be that in MK with the roster they're signing, with the weapons they have. But I like his play. I like him as a guy. I think he brings stuff. He's tough as well. He can mix it. And if he goes down to the league below, I think he's going to do extremely well. He might be one of these guys that kind of fall out with this age thing that we've spoke about.
Yeah.
I think he might be one of those guys that's on that kind of cusp. And if you're now not going to be one of the top end guys at the latter ages, you're probably going to find yourself dropping down leagues. Callum McGill from the Sioux Lookout has gone to Solway, and Craig Peacock kind of gave us this exclusive off air. He wasn't allowed to drop it. He was thinking about dropping it, and then there was I don't know if I'm going to get his shit. But yeah, he's coming back from the States, and I'm intrigued. Apparently, he is my kind of guy. Big, tough, pain in the ass to play against, strong, fight anybody. Apparently, sign me up for this kid. Love it. I'm intrigued to see him play. Also, Solway once again with the social media. They got the King's Mill. They got the fucking like the Baker's Loaf. And then they got the Warburton's Loaf, and you look up and it's Curtis. He stood there. The fact that they got him up there to do that, Peaks is there, the whole team's there, Grubby's there, just like holding the goalie helmet. It's just, it's brilliant. Makes me happy.
Love it.
Makes me happy. Like, I watch him, it makes me happy. It's good shit. And I can't wait to go up there. Also, shout out to Aberdeen Lynx. We will do our best. We've been invited up to Aberdeen, Mark, haven't we? So we've talked about it before. Believe it or not, being Scottish, I've never been to Aberdeen, and apparently it's a beautiful part of the world, and apparently there's a couple of savagely hard, beautiful golf courses there, right in Aberdeen.
I can ruin your weekend then.
Yeah, just ruin my life.
I can't play golf, but I'll get.
You can caddy. You got the beard for it. Could you imagine by then?
Am I going to get my arm bitten off by a crocodile?
By an alligator, you might in Aberdeen. More likely from a bird. I was going to say more likely from a bird than a scheme in Paisley, from Mac's neck of the woods. Let's fast forward on. It's nice to do some jokes on this podcast again. It's been a hot minute since we got to do that. Obviously, we had the tragic news about Alex, and we've just kind of been doing other kind of videos. But to actually sit and laugh again, this is what the podcast was all about initially. Like, we cracked way more jokes in the start. We had way more fucking fun, and today's felt like that. It's felt like a fun one to do, and it's a fun time right now if you're a Bristol Pitbulls fan, because not only have you signed the guy, I think they did talking of good press releases, they did a press release for Lids. And I think they wound the clock back to when the Titanic was, and it zoomed right in. And they went through all his fucking clubs until now. It was just as a list, like, and it was on like a time scale. It was brilliant. And now he is a Bristol Pitbull, which was always going to happen. I think he's got plenty to offer that league. Basingstoke being non-existent anymore. When I spoke to him about his experience, I'm not going to go too much into it, but his experience in NIHL 1, I'm just going to say it wasn't for him. Much the same as it's not for Joe Bird. These guys ain't going to have time for that shit. If they're going to still play, they're going to still play. And Lidgy showed that last year that he can still.
You're not going to have many people. Him and Morgs come to mind in Sheffield. The
Yeah.
block, shot after shot
pucks.
after shot. Like, really eats pucks.
Nick Corrick as well. We got a sample size, and I like the sample size. Now we get a full season. And when we spoke to our boy there, Skipper Owen, sorry, he was more than complimentary about Nick and what he thought he would do with a full season under his belt. So some smart bits of business there for the Bristol Pitbulls. Leaving Leeds, Carter Hamill and Josh Hodgkinson. Interested to see where they end up. I imagine they're making room for new signings, and we'll be intrigued to see what other weapons they bring in, because God knows. You're like, oh, they're done. Like during this last season, and they bring Matt Howlett in. You're like, what? It's like on the playground, a bunch of bullies kicking the shit out of like the year 7s, and then a UFC fighter, MMA guy, moves to your town. And he joins your team and just helps kick the shit out of the year 7s, and instead of trying to like level it up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And it's got that kind of vibe with Leeds. Like, these are both good players. I bet they replace them with 2 better ones.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Do you know what I mean? And that's just like, I can't remember what's the meme. It's like, stop, he's already dead. And that's, if Leeds replace, and these are 2 good boys, and if Leeds replace them with 2 better boys, fucking Jesus.
I'd love to know where Hamill goes. Hamill would be a great. I'm not saying anything about Hodgkinson. I don't know too much about him, so it'd be unfair for me to say. But Hamill's going to be a good pickup.
Oh yeah, he's going to be good wherever he goes. I like him. I like both those kids. Adam Leishram has joined Romford, as has Pierre-Luc Lorette. 1 forward, Adam, and Pierre is a D-man. He's come from the SPHL, so this is the first kind of out-and-out D-man we've seen in the import National League era. Most teams went with 2 last year, and 2 forwards. I said all teams went with 2 forwards last year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so this is a kind of first D-man that we've had in a while, which I kind of hoped that most teams would do, and we haven't seen all the kind of announcements yet, but I'm hoping most teams go 2 and 1. We've got enough British boys that can put the puck in the net. What we don't have is enough good British D-men. And Mark, do you have any stats on these boys? I know you're the stat guy.
I'm just going to look at this Pierre-Luc Lorette. I just want to say, in the meantime of searching for this, I'm really liking the roster Romford are putting together.
Always do, mate. They're improving year upon year, and they're run the right way, and they've got good people involved, and I wish them all the success in the world.
Yeah, they're doing things the right way. So let's have a look now. Wait for Elite Prospects to load.
Yeah, I don't know
My
if it's a problem with. No, it's not yours, mate. Elite Prospects isn't loading for me either. I think it's a problem with Elite. So forgive us if we don't know too much about these next couple of signings, because they are new and they are from the States. So we can only speculate and hope that they're going to be good. But Bobby Young has just joined Hull. He comes from the College of the Holy Cross in the NCAA. Excited to see that. Obviously, getting guys from that caliber coming. And one import that we can talk about is our boy.
Where's he coming from? The School of the Pope or something? The Holy Cross, what?
The Holy Cross, School of Holy Cross. It's an NCAA.
Was that where Walcombe was?
Ooh, good question. Good question. I don't know, because fucking
that name. I remember that
prospects won't work. So
Right.
we're kind of handcuffed on a podcast, but the good thing is we're just going to talk about someone we do know and we did watch play. Our boy Rory Herman joining MK alongside Ruckus, Venus. They're making shapes and making waves, and they're going to be good. He's going to be good. Lights out performances for Telford. The fact that Cardiff brought him in, he was even on Cardiff's radar for the National League, phenomenal. I look forward to getting him back on because he was a good guest. And your interaction with his podcast was great. If you haven't already listened to it, lots of people have. Go check it out. Talked really well. Just a good dude, and like
he's on a bit of a mission right now, isn't he? Going around the UK, enjoying himself, soaking up a bit of culture.
Yeah,
love it.
I like him. He's a really good egg, and we've got a lot of time for him. And I think you guys that live in MK are going to enjoy watching him play this year. We've got a couple more here, and then we're going to wrap it up because
we've got the podcast friend, Deacon Fielder.
Yep, we have. He's going to be there right in Slough, Saturday, 5th of August. Ticketlab.co.uk. Buy your tickets now. Deeks is going to be lacing them up for Telford once again. I like Deeks. We watched his career when he went out and played North America, and he's fighting guys and running guys and getting involved and playing D one night and forward the next night and just fucking whatever the coach told him to do, he was doing. And I got a lot of time for that. Obviously, he was injured, and I've been watching his rehab and Field of Fitness on Instagram. Check him out, and he's battling back. And I think he's going to be fit for this year, and he's going to be hungry. He's still got that bite about him, and I look forward to see what he can bring.
Yeah, exactly what you were saying there. Really nice guy. He's onto great things with Telford.
Yeah, Telford boy as well. The old man's got the shop there. Shout out sis. But guys, girls, we've wrapped all our signings up. Please do make sure you like these videos. That helps the algorithm know that these videos are worth promoting, because right now that's the only way that other people are going to find this channel. We're going to continue to grow it, and obviously it's going to allow us to bring more content in the future. Mark, this is fun. It's been nice to do a fun one. If you haven't already seen, we have released a video about Alex. It's just come out today as we're recording this, and that's the reason we haven't spoke about this. Don't think that if you happen to have missed that and jumped on this, that we're not thinking about Alex Graham right now. You'd be sadly mistaken. We haven't stopped thinking about Alex, and let's dedicate this episode to Alex. And yeah, number 21, our boy. So yeah, shout out to Alex, and yeah, shout out to you guys. Make sure you're good.
Yeah,
DM's always open, and we'll see you again for another episode very soon. Peace.